Celeb Bowhunters fined $133,000 for worst ever poaching ring ever. Let's get right into this because this is pretty crazy. And look at the dude's shoulders. That is insane. So, a controversial bow hunting couple famous for flaunting hunting trophies to hundreds of thousands of followers on social media has been fined a whopping $133,000 for allegedly trafficking animals in Nebraska. The pair was sentenced last week in a federal court in Omaha and was being labeled the largest poaching case in state history. That is crazy. Josh Bomar, he literally has Bo in his name. You gotta be kidding me. Josh Bomar, 32, and Sarah Bomar, 33, from Ohio, were among dozens charged with embarking on dozens of illegal game hunting excursions with the Broken Arrow, Nebraska based Hidden Hills Outfitters between September 10th, 2015 and November 6th, 2017, KPVI reported. During that time, the not so great white hunters had knowingly pursued white tailed deer, wild turkeys, and other animals without a valid license and by using bait, per the original 2020 indictment, the Daily Mail reported. The document states that they had employed numerous bait sites in order to maximize their hunting effectiveness and success rate or attempt to eliminate a specific trophy deer. Pretty much, they were trying their best to get the easiest way to end one of these animals, right? Probably just for content, which to me is such like a weird feeling. It's like I personally don't have anything against someone hunting. I have a problem with people making it so one-sided to where you're basically shooting fish in a barrel. Like to me, that just seems icky, right? Like I don't really like that. Like if you make it like a challenge, okay, I can kind of understand that. It's just like it's kind of like imagine you're going to fight someone, but instead of using skills or like going head on or whatever, right? You decide to corner that person in a corner of a room with like four other people behind you backing you up to intimidate the person into basically not really going as hard as they potentially could to protect themselves. Like that's kind of like the situation that they were basically doing. You know what I'm saying? The Bomars would then post footage of their ill-gotten trophies to their YouTube and Instagram pages, both entitled Bomar Bow Hunting, where they boast over 300,000 subscribers and 342,000 followers, respectively. So, again, they did this pretty much purely for content, aka to make money. That's pretty sad. In one of the disturbing clips posted on January 5th, 2017, which was referenced in the indictment, Josh, a fitness trainer, can be seen dispatching a white-tailed deer with an arrow. He later describes how its antlers fell off after he shot it, which seems pretty odd for that to just happen. So the Mars had transported these animal trophies to Ohio and elsewhere, and in doing so, they had violated the Lacey Act, which prohibits trafficking in fish, wildlife, or plants that are illegally taken, possessed, transported, or sold. In October, the trophy hunters pleaded guilty in the U.S. District Court of Nebraska to one count of conspiring to violate the Lacey Act, Field and Stream reported. This resulted in the court dropping four other more serious charges, which were predominantly related to illegal animal baiting. As punishment for their crimes, the Bomars were each sentenced on Thursday to 3 years of probation and 40 hours of community service. The judge also ordered the archers to pay a $75,000 fine, $25,000 for each Bowmar, plus their hunting company, Bowmar Bowhunting LLC of Ankeny, Iowa, along with forfeiting $44,000 in property and paying $13,000 in restitution to the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. The couple is also prohibited from hunting in the state of Nebraska during their probationary period. All told, a staggering 39 people were convicted, while over $750,000 in fines, restitution, and forfeitures were collected in what's being called the largest poaching case in Nebraska history. The clandestine animal killing ring was responsible for taking at least 95 game animals ranging from turkey to pronghorn via prohibited means. These include baiting deer, using prohibited guns, hunting during closed season hours, and taking mule deer from conservation areas. This sentencing hearing marks the completion of all foreseen prosecutions of numerous defendants related to violations committed by owners, guides, and clients of Hidden Hills Outfitters, declared United States Attorney Stephen Russell in a press release. And this isn't the first time the Bowmars have found themselves in the crosshairs of controversy. In 2016, Josh, who met his wife Sarah in a 2014 bodybuilding competition, sparked outrage amongst wildlife activists after uploading a video of himself fatally spearing a bear that he'd baited in Alberta, Canada. See, this is the thing. Like, this is something that they are doing repeatedly over and over and over, where they're baiting these animals. They're basically trying to make pretty much every single hunting situation that they are ever involved in a situation where, let me go get this barrel and stick these fish in there so that I can shoot them. Like, obviously I'm simplifying the whole situation, but that's basically what they're doing. They're looking for the easiest way to get their trophy just so that they can pretty much post it on social media. That's kind of like a situation of someone like bragging how much money they make, and so what they do is they actually just go and steal money from a homeless person and then upload themselves like, oh, I made $10 today. Like, it's just crazy. And despite the graphic nature of the kill, the former college football player was never charged, as spear hunting was still allowed in Alberta at the time. The thing was baiting allowed at that time? So in response to the backlash, Josh claimed that the kill was ethical and that no one cares more about animals than hunters. That's like a 50-50 kind of thing. There's some hunters that are kind of like mean about the whole thing. There's some hunters who do it to like basically preserve the whole like overall ecosystem of some of these areas, because sometimes you have to eliminate the population so that other animals can survive and thrive. But like with anything that involves humans, there's always a very mixed bag. So let's see some of these comments. These two are not hunters. They are simply media narcissists. Real hunters and honest outfitters only pursue game while adhering to the rules of fair chase, where both game and hunter have an even odds. Agreed, jail time should have been included, just as an example. Exactly. Like, this is my viewpoint on this, like my personal viewpoint on this, right? Like, what they were doing is like the worst way to go about hunting ever, right? It's just, it's sad to see, right? Whether you're against hunting or you're for hunting, this is sad to see no matter what. Because you're basically tying these animals' hands behind their back and then blowing their brains out. Like, that's basically the situation. They're making it that easy for themselves to do this sort of stuff. And they're not going to stop. You think that probation period is going to stop them? No. They're going to go into a different state and do something.